Hey, True Believers, England Teen here with the secret origin of Young Justice. Changing the name of Comic Book Origins to Secret Origins. Why not? So the Young Justice, way better known as a cartoon than it was a comic book. The comic book started in 1998. The team was created by TODD, the writer, Todd Nauck, and Larry Stucker as the artists. And very much like the Teen Titans, as a matter of fact, at that point in time, the Teen Titans dropped the teen. They're just going by Titans. They need a new teenage superhero group. So they came up with Young Justice, but much like the Teen Titans began with Aqualad, Kid Flash, and Robin, this one still had Kid Flash and Robin, but it was Superboy in this case. And, of course, they grew and grew to the point where they had a crossover called Graduation Day, that at the end of it, they kind of formed two teams, Teen Titans and the Outsiders. And then Young Justice went away from the comic books. It was straight up cartoon from there. That's where most people know them. But we're going to be looking at the very first appearance of the comic book Young Justice. And that takes place in The Secret. And when we, first of all, when I was looking up, okay, where does Young Justice first start? I really have never looked at it before. Girl Frenzy? Serious? Young Justice, The Secret, huh? What a boring cover. This would not intrigue me, this cover. I would not look at that and go, wow, I must pick this up. I would have to have all sorts of information before I pick that up. The cover's a fail to me. So we open up on a classic splash page. We see Robin. It looks like he's being interrogated. And they're just like, hey, you know how dangerous this was? Thousands of people were in jeopardy, and you and your friends are right in the middle of it. Tell us what you know. And Robin's like, alrighty. And I became involved the night before when I got curious about the military convoy that was slinking through Gotham in the middle of the night. We see Superboy and Impulse kind of join Robin, and it really is random. Their dialogue doesn't explain what they're doing there, helping Robin at all. And while they're talking, a whole bunch of army guys and what they call DEO security guys come showing up. DEO stands for Department of Extra Normal Operations. And supposedly it's a group that just does not like supers, or whatever you want to call them here, metas. But they say, hey, we need your help. And they tell a story about how there's this gaseous creature that they've been holding on to that managed to escape and has the ability to alter its form to become poisonous to people. So it could kill a lot of people. And if Robin and Flash and Superboy, or Impulse and Superboy, could help out, they most certainly would appreciate it. And this is weird. This is like a page that just doesn't exist. Superboy conveys the same message as the first page. Hey, they let us go check it out. And then the bottom half, where you see Robin standing around and all of them are looking around, he's like, we can't find them. And Impulse is going, hey, I could go really fast and look all over town. And Robin goes, then what? And he's like, I don't know. It's seriously a wasted page. But then Robin kind of points out the big problem of them just rushing into this particular little mission. And he says, see, that's just it. We've got to have a plan and be ready for everything. If we just scare it out, it's out. We have to draw it out and keep control of the situation. We have to know what we're going to do next, and we have to work together like a team. That's what the Justice League does. Superboy telling the story says, so I volunteered to do a little subtle scoping around a quiet flyover to get the lay of the land, but we see what actually happened is Robin saying, Superboy, we're going to need you to run a little recon mission. Just go. And Superboy's like, hey, wait a minute. Who died and made you Lex Luthor? You're not the boss of me. Why do I? He goes, duh. Maybe it's because you're the only one who can fly? Look, you know you have to do this. It requires a little stealth, so that rules out the Tasmanian Devil here. You're the only one who can do this, so let's not argue just to argue, okay? And Superboy kind of acquiesces. Okay, this is funny because it is Impulse. Robin goes, okay, Impulse, I'm going to need you to go to the DEO office. And he goes, all right, and he leaves. And then comes back, and what? Yeah, I kind of like that because it's a very character moment for him. And then it goes on to say, it was tough, but Robin finally got Impulse to chill long enough to listen to what we were going to need. Then Superboy says, you know, when we do become the Justice League, I don't know if we're going to be that kid's teammates or his parents. And Robin's like, yeah, well, I know which one you're going to be. Superboy's like, whoa, I'm not the mom, I'm not the mom. We'll put that one under the list of jokes that would never be told in a comic book today. And then we get the Impulse side of the story. So they send me back to the compound to pick up a containment canister and blah blah yada yada yada. Are we almost done here? Because I am really... Sit up! I don't think I need to impress upon you the severity of this situation. There are a lot of important people who may have concerns regarding this matter. There are questions that need to be addressed. Now continue with your story. So they sent me for a containment unit. So far, I have to admit, Impulse is being written the best here, because you see him running up to the DO? And if it were anybody else, they'd realize he's listening to clues. But it's not. Impulse just runs in, grabs a containment unit out of a guy's hand, comes back and is like, there you go, now what? And mentions, of course, that it took him 5 seconds to do that. So anyway, what we're hearing, though, is another defective canister. Put it over with the other ones and be sure that it's properly labeled. Damned O-rings. And to see to it that our little accident is in place if those three punks come through, I'm not going to run the risk of that thing getting out again. And we cut to Robin and Superboy. Impulse is already there with Robin. Okay, Wonder, I got the perfect spot all picked out. This is excellent, just what we needed. You know, I could just run up there and not yet. S-Boy took us up on a cliff overlooking the town, and then Robin finally told us what he was planning to do, and he took forever explaining it, says Impulse. Impulse continues the story, but Robin is telling the plan. Okay, everybody knows what they're... So Impulse continues the story as Robin is telling the plan. Okay, everybody knows what they're supposed to do? Impulse asks now. Okay, Speedy, it's time to go. That was part of my job, to beat the bushes, to canvass the town and the surrounding woods at lightning speed as fast as I could, Robin said. Leave no stone unturned, which was actually kind of funny. And we end up in a cemetery where a gas monster floats out, whatever a gas monster would do. And we see Impulse get scared. Suddenly, it was all around me, and it was big and smoky and mad. Robin and Superboy are looking on, and Robin said, there it is, get us there, fast. Superboy says, don't blink. And immediately they're there. I actually like this little art bit with Robin being dropped, rolling into a ready position as Impulse is running by. Fine, ready? Superboy's like, let's do it. Robin had it figured out perfectly. It couldn't go wrong. Robin continues the story. I wasn't totally sure that it was going to work. I just kept hoping we were using our resources to the best advantage. And we see a vortex that's sucking the creature into the canister. Robin continues. Impulse said that he'd be moving too fast to worry about the poison gases of the thing. And Superboy, well, he says he's invulnerable to everything. So he braced himself in the canister with his tactile telekinesis and was able to stand in the center of the incredible vortex that Impulse had whipped up. And before the subject even knew what was going on, it was over. Gotcha. Hey, we did it. We're talking real teamwork here. Huh? And we cut to the team being interrogated, each being asked a different question. So you were able to contain the subject without incident? Yeah. None of you were affected in any way by the subject's toxicity? No. Did you notice anything strange about the subject once you had captured it? And Impulse is like, no. We see Superboy handling the canister. You guys, this is totally whacked. I mean, is it me? Or does that look like a girl in there? Oh, that's a girl, all right, says Impulse, and the young lady starts to tell her story. Please, you gotta let me go. Or at least listen to what I have to say. I don't know what they told you, but I bet it isn't the truth. Please, I've been a ward of the DEO for as long as I can remember. I don't even have memories of anything else but being locked in my airtight room and observed. They hated my power and wanted them. As I got older, I realized that my room wasn't as tight as they thought. Being ethereal, I soon found that I could travel the facility at night undetected. That's when I found out I wasn't alone. There are dozens of us, orphan subjects, different people, kids mostly, being kept there, sad and scared, studied and tested. The tests were horrible, and sometimes they were, I saw sometimes they were bad. When the doctors found out what I'd seen, what I knew, they said that I knew too much. They decided to send me to the WAB, or WABE. That's where subjects go when they don't come back. Bad things happen there. I can guess where this is going, but in all honesty, I think it would be cool if we find out that this little girl is just lying and ends up trying to devour everything and everybody. Please, you have to believe me. They want me to disappear. They said that no one could find out what I know, and even though I said I'd never tell, please, they'll do bad things. Superboy's like, I don't know, you guys. Remember what Dr. Charles said, that this creature could assume any form? Maybe we're being deked. I mean, she sounds like she's telling the truth, but I don't know who to believe. And we see Robin saying, no, Dr. Charles was trying to paint us a picture of a horrible monster, but while he was briefing us, I heard him refer to it as she. And just look at her. She really is scared. If they're so worried about a deadly poisonous creature, how come only some of the troops were wearing level H suits instead of all of them? Yeah, that's right. So we help her? Guys, Impulse is saying. Yeah, I say whoa. And we see that the young lady's escaped. She's out, Impulse says, and the young lady says, I'm sorry, but thank you. I knew you'd help. Robin asks, you were able to get out all along, weren't you? Then why didn't you? Superboy says. I wanted you to believe me, to trust me. I need your help. I need some friends. No, you don't, darling. That show does not hold up. It is not as funny as we remember. I'm sorry that I tried to scare you before. I just didn't know what to do. I was scared. When you turn me over to Dr. Charles, he plans to silence me. He'll say that he's mixing me with oxygen to calm me down, but it'll really be potassium chloride, which will render me inert. Inert? She means dead, doofus. And I can't. And she starts to cry. Nice job, doofus. Shut up. No, you. Hey, take it easy. And we see Kid Flash telling the story. Basically, they hand over a canister of some sort of gas to the DEO, and they're like, hey, we've got her, I mean the subject. And they say, well, we're going to add a little bit of oxygen to keep her, and Kid Flash's like, inert? No, unconscious. The oxygen will act as a sedative. Okay, Roman Polanski, we get you. Oh my gosh, this guy's creepy. So the oxygen mixes with the gas, and it explodes, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, what happened? And they were like, oh my gosh, she must have died. And Robin throws some smoke capsules down on the ground. Hey, don't leave the Batcave without them. And the young lady's going, oh my gosh, thank you, you're the best. Oh, I'm free, I can't wait. I've never had freedom before. I can't wait to go and find out what the world is like. Thank you so much. And Impulse is like, hey, wait, before you go, what's your name? You know, I'm going to go find out what that is, too. And she's just, I'm free, dang it. And then Robin's like, hey, you know, she can only stay free if she stays dead. This goes no further, you guys. We keep it among ourselves, a secret. And we see the three of them telling the story, this time to Superman, Max Mercury, Batman, and the Flash. And they're all asking, do you think they were honest with us? And Batman's like, you know what? I've dealt with the DEO, and I can honestly say I don't give a crap about them. And you know what? Even if the kids were lying a little bit, well, we all have our little secrets, don't we? And he turns off the monitor. So there you go, gang. The very first appearance of Young Justice was not actually a Young Justice comic. It was a Girl Frenzy comic. I did not know that. That is the first. So how was it? I thought it was all right myself. It was very much, I don't know. You know how I sometimes complain about how there's not enough dialogue in books? I thought for this kind of story, and it really did seem to be aiming for a younger crowd, I thought there was just enough. I mean, they told a story. It wasn't like they had, you know, just one panel, one word, all that kind of stuff all throughout the book. But it told an interesting enough story, even if it was incredibly predictable. I thought it was fun. And that's something I'm missing from a lot of modern day comic books. They seem so earnest and sincere that they're missing out on what comics really should be, like this fantasy, this thing you put yourself in the role of the hero of. Very entertaining book. I kind of dug it, I gotta say. Not the best, not the greatest, hi Twids, but still it does hold up. If I were to have a little bit of a complaint, and it's not a deal breaker, it's that I think Robin was well characterized, and I think that Kid Flash or Impulse was well characterized, but I think Superboy was just kind of there. We never got an actual Superboy moment He just seemed to be the muscle, the background. Obviously, Impulse is the comic relief. Robin seemed to drive the narrative a lot more. And Superboy was just there to do whatever Robin asks. I would have preferred each of them to have their moment to shine. But like I said, that's not a deal breaker. And I think in the end, what we got was just fine. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to click on like, share, subscribe, the whole 9 yards. Make sure your notifications are set on all because that's what really matters. If you don't mind helping out the channel financially, going over to Patreon or to Ko-Fi, links in the description below. Just drop $1 in the till. Helps keep the lights on. Helps keep making videos for you. Thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.